Hello, my people. System should not come before people in Africa. A lot of time we see that to keep the system or to maintain the old system comes first before people in Africa. And let me give you an example like democracy. In Africa, where there is democracy in Africa, you see the election. You know, when the election is happening in any country in Africa, you see that the West is gonna push money to support that to put in the election. They will say like in support of democracy, we're giving this particular country in Africa money because they are conducting a democracy like the system. And when the West are giving money for this kind of thing, it means that they like the system. They want.
Especially on the French right, I get the feeling you're a bit salty about being kicked out, about having been kicked out of the Sahel, right? And everything is starting to make a bit more sense to me, because I was wondering, in Belgium, in France, we keep producing, buying military equipment for billions of euros that is destined, that was designed specifically to be used in the Sahel. I thought to myself, that's weird, because we're told we need to defend ourselves from Russia, but we're buying this specialized military equipment for Africa. We're going to squeeze our pensions, our hospitals, our schools to do this. I found that weird. I wondered why, and I went and looked. I understood that the Sahel region, in fact, has emerged in recent years as one of the most important mining corridors in Africa. Burkina Faso is one of the largest gold producers in Africa, but also has copper, zinc, manganese, phosphite. Mali will soon become the second largest African producer of lithium. Niger obviously holds hundreds of thousands of tons of uranium. And for years, decades, European companies have had cheap access to all these resources, all this wealth. The result is plundered countries and extreme poverty for their populations. And now you're afraid of losing this access.
The system in place. They want that African countries to have democracy as they claim. You know what I mean? And they put money there. And we look at the money the West are pumping into the African democracy, whether the West or America, is pumping to keep African democracy alive, as they claim. You see that if they put that money into human development in Africa, that's money well used, not the system, because we see that all the system in Africa comes before people, and it doesn't benefit people, and it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't die because of the system. Democracy. We have to do election, and we're gonna spend money, and sometimes there is violence in this African election of democracy. And people lose their lives, and this is putting system before people, and any system, because now Africa, we shouldn't test the system for so long before we know that this system is good or this system is bad. Because of stuff we have now, the knowledge we have, and the experience we are having with the system we are imposed, like the system that they push on us, we should know whether this system is going to lead us to a dead end or it's going to improve our lives. Because what happens is that we don't people that are benefiting from the old system, this system in place now in some Africa, they want to maintain that system. They want the system to continue. And we see that in most of places we have democracy in Africa, it doesn't yield the result. It doesn't yield the result. That system is a faulty system. Or maybe, let me take back my statement. Maybe it's a perfect system, but the way we are using that system, because somebody may have a good software, perfect software, but the implementation of that software might be where the problem is. Because when you look at other places that it doesn't have this system, and the way the speed of development, we're not talking about it takes you 1,000 years to develop. Oh, this system is good. It is a gradual process. Things, no, we don't want stuff like that. Look at Dubai and look at China. This system, they don't have it. No one is talking about democracy and say, oh, Dubai is a model of democracy, or somebody is talking about China and say China is a model of democracy. They have system that works for them. But that's the most important thing. You don't have to use one particular system. And we see it as well, like what is happening in Africa now. Look at Burkina Faso, for instance. The system there is not democracy. But it doesn't mean it doesn't. There's no we cannot say, oh, let's bring democracy there, because we see that what is happening there. If we have democracy, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen at all. The system, because the type of democracy we practice in everywhere is easy to corrupt democracy. It's easy to corrupt that system. And the same thing with China, they bring their own system and they make it working for them. And that's why they were able to develop in the speed they have. They don't say, let's take another because let's take it slow. No, Africa should not be thinking in a slow mode. We need to do something fast. And not only that, we need to do something fast because our population are increasing as well. We need to we have multiple mouths to feed, and we have not only that to feed, because it's not about eating food, it's about enjoying life as well, because it's not only development is not about just having 3 square meal a day or taking care of your stomach. Democracy, a good life involves many things. You have to find meaning in life. You have to find a job, or you have to do a business. You know what I mean? But these current systems we have in many places in Nigeria, in Africa, for Nigeria, for example, the system there eventually is not, truthfully, is not working there. It's not working because the system, the Nigerians, for instance, they have not found a way to make democracy work there. I'm not saying like the democracy cannot work, but what we are seeing in Africa today is that the democracy in Africa is faulty. Look at Cameroon as well. The system, they keep this system, and the West, because they are the West, because they are benefiting with this system in place. They are sponsoring the system. You know what I mean? If you are not if you are not in democracy in Africa, you have become enemy of the West. If your country are not democratic, they don't have democratic government, you automatically become enemy of the West. Just for Africa, they do this type of stuff for Africa, but when it come about China, they don't talk about democracy in China. They just because what are you gonna say about China? Their system is working. The same thing when they talk about other places, Dubai, where the system they put in place is working for their own people. Because that's the most important thing, for people to come before a system, not for you to, because what I see in Africa, other places, just a project. We want to do this project, and they would want to do this. All this project comes before people. And most of the projects you are doing, it doesn't benefit people. Like somebody in Africa, a governor, in Africa is building like a international conference, building. Just spend money in a massive, big building that nothing is international about it, and they call it international conference. No one come in there. Just spending money in white elephant project that doesn't help anyone. Peace.